Hello everybody, this is Cresso, and I'm here to talk about marriage. I wanted to title this clip is Humans Are Not Meant to Get Married. And I know it's kind of weird to hear that title, but that's just the title I have in my mind. And yeah, I just want to talk about my take on the whole marriage thing. And there's a pattern that I've been seeing for quite a while, and I think some stuff I'm gonna say that a lot of you may agree, maybe a lot of you may not agree. So, but I'm gonna give you what my take on, and I want to talk about love. What love really is, okay? And yeah, I'm definitely going to talk about marriage. So this is going to be, again, this is a personal, it's a very personal, touchy topic here. But yeah, so I'm going to start off my feelings about it. Marriage, we all grew up, depends on your background, where you live. But a lot of us, we grew up with this traditional feeling of getting married, have kids, whatever, But, and then also, and it depends where in the world you're from. There's been marriage that's been arranged. A lot of people, not everybody, a lot of people go through this customs. I had an old friend of mine, we lost contact. His parents, basically his parents was arranged. But, the thing is, they're happy. They've been married for a long, long time. A lot of people are not very quite happy with some of these crazy traditions, but a lot of you, not all, a lot of you will go forward with it for the sake of the tradition. Because your father, your mother did it, or you're being told to do, or you should do it, and stuff like that. So through the years, I always thought this idea of being arranged, I felt, and I still feel to this day, I used to feel like that's very twisted. Don't know how I'm able to allow somebody, I don't care if it's a family member, or somebody trying to arrange marriage. I just wouldn't go for it. Maybe you could say that throughout my life so far here, I live in a Western culture. So, but even if I live in other cultures, let's just say in other parts of Africa or other parts of the world, let's just say, honestly, the way I feel in my spirit, I'm not going to basically go for that tradition. That's just how I feel strongly. But yeah, a lot of people feel that they have to go forward with these traditions of that being arranged. You don't know the person, but yet you have to you have to marry this person. And to go back, I'm going to talk about a little bit more about the Western culture, but I'm going to talk a little bit about other cultures the best I can. I talking to a lot of people that live in different parts of the world, and their take on the whole marriage. It's some common ground compared to the West in some ways. Marriage, especially in the U.S., for example. I'm gonna talk about the women as much as I can, but I'm gonna obviously talk about more on the male side. My perspective. The thing with the marriage is it's a mind job of its own, and it's a paradigm. It's an idea that we created, marriage, and especially with religion. But I will touch on religion in a moment. But a lot of us, we grew up with this idea about marriage. Some stuff are traditional. For the women, I learned that if a woman's not married at a certain age, let's say what, 25. If you're not married at the age of 25, for example, okay, there's something wrong with you, right? That's the stuff that the program that you took in. You took on the idea that if you're not married at that age, there's something wrong with you. I've heard stuff from what other women talk to other women, and have other women in the past that spoke to me about their feelings about it. That sometimes, you know, when you're not married at a certain age for a woman, you're being looked as maybe a lesbian. You know, maybe you don't like men. That's another idea that's being thrown at, just to pressure you to get married or feel low about yourself because you're not married. And you know, a lot of those things, everybody, those things is twisted. I'm not gonna hold back. These thoughts and these things that we put on ourselves is very twisted. Okay? And for the women, if you're not married at the age of 25, you live with your parents, there's something wrong with you. Very similar to the guys. You know, the guys, it's weird. The guys have the luxury of basically, if let's say they're 25, they're not married, it's okay. Guys, I grew up with the idea that men could take their time to get married. Okay, they don't have this clock to produce. So guys, you know, they could get married at the age of 35. But and you're not looked at that there's something wrong with you. But again, you know, it depends on the individual for the guys now. You know, it's very weird. Let's just say you're a guy, right? And you live with your family. You're well over the age of 21, okay? You live with your parents. I used to hear jokes like this. Oh my gosh, this guy's he lives with his mom, he lives in a basement, right? You don't have your own place, you don't have a girlfriend, right? Those things, right? So for the guys on that end, you're considered to be a loser because you don't have a girlfriend. Now, keep in mind, I didn't mention marriage now. See, the guys, for the most part, especially here in the Western culture, you're not really pressured to get married. It's not programmed in your upbringing. Again, I'm not gonna generalize everybody. Just to give some examples. So yes, the guys have the luxury of getting married. Okay, at what age? He could be 45. But let's just say this: if the guy is having a girlfriend, he has a girlfriend here and there, and let's just say he doesn't have a steady girlfriend. He's just basically in a dating market. He just dates women here and there. You know, that's okay for the guy. But for the women, there's something wrong with that. Especially here in the Western culture. You know, you gotta be, by the age of 25, you gotta be married and have kids. Yeah. A lot of you just listen to this, you're gonna probably nod your head and say, yep. You know, a good number of you women, you basically, that's the program that you took in. Your mother passed that on to you, your grandmother passed that on to your mother. But again, it doesn't apply to everybody, you know. But it's very strange, especially between the guy and the women, you know. So yeah. For the guys, you don't have to get married at the age of 25. You got the time. You don't got the pressure. You don't have that clock that ticking down. Time is running out. And but yeah. If you live with your mom, if you're a guy, if you live with your mother or your dad, okay, it doesn't matter what type of arrangement of the house. It could be the basement. It could be upstairs. There's something wrong with you. You know, you gotta have your own place. For the man, you gotta have your own place. Okay, if you're single, it's okay. It's okay. You're in a dating market. You're dating. As long as you're dating now, okay. But it's strange. See, it's little tiny symbols for the women. If you don't, let's say if you're not seeing somebody, right, and let's say, God forbid, you're a virgin, right? You not only you be looked at as a loser, okay, you're gonna be looked questionable. Well, if you're gay or something. I'm sorry if anyone that's gay or lesbian that's listening to this. I'm not trying to offend you. These are the things that be thrown at some people. Again, this doesn't apply to everybody. But yeah. If you're a virgin, and if you're, let's say you are 40. For those that seen this movie, the Virgin, I forget the name of the movie. I didn't see that movie. Matter of fact, I think it's called The Virgin. 40. I don't know the name, but for those, if you listen to this, and you probably know what movie I'm talking about. I didn't want to see that movie at the time, okay? Because during my time, I was feeling frustrated. I was single for a while. I wanted to get married at the time. I was going through some stuff, and I felt that, and I've dated people. Okay, I dated people. It didn't work out, but I wanted to. I just had a desire to get married. Just living. Just basically through my journey in this world, I wanted to have that experience to get married. And the thing is that when I saw this movie, when I heard about this movie, I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to see it because I felt like it's making fun of people that's basically single. I mean, I wasn't 40 at the time when this movie came out, but I just didn't like the whole idea of this movie. I just didn't like it. So I never watched it. Even to this day, I have no interest in watching anyway. It is not because of that. My situation, my outlook on life and everything is different. But I used to hear jokes over at the radio stations. Radio commentators make these, or radio announcers or DJ, whatever, they used to make these jokes about guys single, whatever. Stupid stuff like that. But I used to take that very personal about the jokes. At the time, I was considered to be a loser. That's how I felt, because I wasn't married or whatever. Even though I was dating somebody here, different people here and there, nothing steady. Whenever I felt like dating, maybe I might, I'll find somebody, during my time. But just this stuff, I mean, again, my program that I wanted to get married. Okay, I felt, and I'm being honest and open here, I felt like a loser because I wasn't married, and I used to struggle a lot of envious thought because I wasn't married. So, but I just want to get down to the whole idea of marriage. Why a lot of people, a good number of people, really, and I've been doing my research. Okay, there's a lot of people, and it's a growing number now, especially here in the U.S. It's a growing number of people just don't basically want to be married. And if they're married, they feel trapped. A lot of people feel trapped for combinations of reasons. They feel like their sex life is non-existent, or let's just say, and on top of that, they don't like the person. It could be various different reasons. It could be basically the person that did got married, right? Doesn't matter if it's a guy or woman, right? If the person did got married, okay, they're not being open and honest with themselves. Do you really want to get married, or you just want to get married because a suggested idea has been brought up upon you that you have to get married, but you decided to get married to go along with it, maybe to shut your mother up, or maybe to get your father to shut up, who knows, or maybe to fulfill your own ego, that if you're not married, you'd be considered a loser, so you went ahead, okay, and got married, okay, so you feel like you're filling this gap in your life. In terms of, I got married, it's like some sort of accomplishment. But again, deep down inside, you're not happy. So you got married. And you feel trapped. And that's the thing. And not everybody, but there's a good number of people feel that way. And I'm like, wow, that's just amazing. A lot of people do get married. some reason, it's weird. Like, some people want to get married. Some people are married. Okay, for those that's married, and okay, I'm sorry, I gotta keep repeating this. This is not going to apply to everybody. Some of the examples I'm going to say, you pretty much know if I'm talking about you. Okay, so I'll do my best to give the best examples, okay, that I can think of in this clip. Okay, you're married, right? In your days before you got married, you used to date people. You slept around with a lot of people, right? You liked that. It was quite an experience, right? But you got married, right? You found somebody. It could be a various reason. You found someone, you think, oh wow, I want to be with this person. Okay, this applies for women and men. Okay, so yeah, you know, this person, I fell in love. It's like kind of like love at first sight. Yeah, I think this is the person. I think this person is the one I want to spend my life with, right? But then there's a hidden desire, a stronger desire within you, that you're not being open and honest with yourself, that you feel like, and it's a thing, this is a thing that I've realized about a lot of people. You have a burning desire. You have to outweigh the desires or your feelings inside of you. Which one weighs the more? The fact that you want to be married and you want to be with one person for the rest of your life, or to fulfill whatever the enjoyment that you had of being with different people. Okay, this is something that a lot of people don't really take the time and consideration with those things. You just go ahead and quickly make a decision. But again, you know, it depends on the individual now. So you got married, okay, and again, you got this burning desire that you want to be with a lot of people. So it's funny, some people will stay married, okay, and they'll stay married. They don't want to lose that. They're not trying to leave the person. They're not trying to leave the person, their spouse, but they want to have a side thing going on. You know, that's what they want. That they figure, like, you know, I just don't want to lose anything what I have in my house, my family, my husband, or my wife, my kids, whatever. So you want to keep certain things going. So you figured that you could have you could have both worlds. You could sleep around with a lot of people and still have somebody in your house waiting for you. So yeah, those are the things. But you're setting yourself up into a situation that you really don't want to be in. You're really playing with a thin line here. You're not being honest with yourself. A lot of you will listen to this. You probably know that I'm talking about you. A lot of you probably don't care, as long as you don't get caught, right? Right, that's the whole idea. Okay, there are some married couples. There are some married couples that are okay with some arrangement. It's weird. Some married couples, they will go out with other people outside the marriage, right? As long as the person, you know, as long as your spouse, doesn't matter if it's a man or woman, as long as you don't get attached to the person that you're sleeping with. Other than that, it's an agreement that you had together, right? You're married now, and you say, yeah, you know what, we're married, let's just, for whatever reason, maybe to have a kid or whatever arrangements that you have. So yeah, you're married, so yeah, let's just go sleep around. I'm okay with it. Are you okay with it? Yeah, I'm okay with it. Yeah, let's just don't get too attached to the person. Oh yeah, okay, no problem. Deal, done deal. You know, you got that situation going on. Oh, a lot of stuff. You know, I mean, I'm doing my best to come up with some examples here. You know, and you know, not everybody. I'm going to say this. I'm not looking down on anybody. I'm just calling out the situation about marriage. Why a lot of you, a good number of you, are not really happy about the idea of marriage. You're really not. It's a contract. You know, it's a contract. It really is. And I'm trying to think of some other examples here. Yeah. You want to. It's either to fulfill your own ego while you want to get married, you know, stuff like that. You don't want to be ashamed. You don't want your parents to be ashamed of you. It's all bunch of stuff. A lot of you listening to this, you can relate you know exactly what I'm talking about. So don't be shocked and all that, you know. But yeah, you know, I mean, there's just so many people unhappy, and you know what? It's unnecessary. You put yourself through all the drama, and you got to really think about it. Why are you doing it? You know, why are you putting yourself in consistent drama? I mean, do you like it? I mean, I'm a firm believer that anything that you do in life, anything, you could stay single or whatever you do. If you're truly happy, if you're sincerely happy what you're doing with your life, then go for it. Okay? It doesn't matter whether I agree or anybody else agrees what you're doing. It doesn't matter. As long as you're happy, you know. See, the reason why I'm doing this clip, because when I've been doing my own research and seeing things through the years in this pattern, there's a lot of you, a great number of you feel trapped. You express stuff. You're unhappy. You want an exit. You know, the thing is, again, you are ignoring your true feelings. You really are. You're literally ignoring your true feelings. And so yeah, marriage, it's like, I mean, and there's another thing too with marriage is that, let's say two people are dating. You've been dating for years, right? The minute you get married, right, something changed. Wow, what gives? Why something change? Some of you probably scratching your head, don't know why. Is it because of me? Oh no, is it because of her or him? Who knows? But something changed. It's not the same. Now, again, it's an example here. You've been dating this person for like, let's just say for 2 years or 3 years. Or matter of fact, let's just go 5 years. But you just decided to get married. Something changed. But you know, it's funny. Let's just say, let me just add this too. You've been dating this person for 5 years, and you've been living in the same house for 5 years. But the minute you got married, boom, it changed. It changed. I mean, let me just add this too. Excuse me. You have kids. You have kids, okay? You're not married, and you've been with each other for 5 years, living under the same house, and I'm gonna add kids. And again, the minute you got married, boom, it changed. Something changed. The chemistry or something. Can't say, oh, I don't know this person. You kind of like something surprising. There's something surprising about this person. I didn't see this coming. No. That doesn't apply to this, because you've been living in the same roof for 5 years. So you should know this person very, very well. There's a lot of different cases, so I may not call out every example, but I'm going to come up with the best examples. So yeah, so you do know this person very well. You have a lot of deep conversation within the past 5 years. So there's really no skeletons in the closet. Okay, you just decided to, you know, to state your vows, you know, whatever. You get that little certificate from City Hall. You got the tax man, IRS, happy. Okay, you know, the whole gambit. So yeah, so you guys now your guys are legally married now. Okay, so yeah, something changed. It's a big mystery. And I'm going to tell you why, my take on why in this example something changed. You see, I see that marriage, one of the biggest problems with marriage, I don't care if it's in a Western culture, I don't care if it's in India, Japan, Africa, I don't care. One of the biggest problems with marriage is obligation. You're obligated. You're obligated to take care of your wife, and you're obligated to take care of your husband. It's a vow. That's what it is. Obligation. And you know, a lot of people don't really see that. You think because this person is difficult, right? You want to get away from this person. But then again, you know, let's just say the people that's been dating for 5 years, that couple. I mean, you guys got along great. I mean, something changed. It's obligation. Your attitudes toward each other is different. That's what marriage does. Marriage it's a program of itself that we created. It did. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to break it down psychologically. Okay. And a lot of you, I will say a good number of you, choose not to see that because of your own ego. It's that big pride of yours. You see, when you love somebody, okay, when you love somebody, when you try to stick obligation into something, you see what you're doing is that you're becoming a burdensome to that person. Yeah, you are. Doesn't matter if you're a woman or a guy. It doesn't matter. So what? And then wind up is you see after a while now. Okay, it depends on the individual. After a while, let's just say this obligation is like things like this. You're my husband, you're my wife. You know, you're supposed to be doing this. Or you're supposed to be taking care of your kids and blah, 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 right? It's an obligation. It's a duty, right? A lot of people, a lot of things in humanity sticks with this idea. And you wondering why things fall apart. So you got duties and obligation. But if you really put aside of your traditions and your ego and all that stuff, there's no love there. It's like a job. It's a job. It kind of makes me think about, let's say, the single moms. They talk about being a mom's a full-time job. And I used to look at some of the moms. Some of the moms they play up like it's a joy. But then when I look closely to a lot of people, you're not really happy. It's a full-time job. It's like, it is painstaking. A lot of your moms are probably saying to yourselves, oh man, I can't wait till my son or daughter turns 18, go to college, and I can just be by myself. Right? Probably a good number of you think that way, but I'm not going to talk about parents in this clip. I just want something just in me, just kind of the idea of a duty, obligation, a full-time job. It's like you're just not happy. So yeah, to go back with marriage. Yeah, so the thing is that, so yeah, after a while, when you start sticking obligation with somebody, wind up is the relationships fall apart. You just don't want to be a mom. You just don't want to be a dad. You just don't want to be a husband or wife. You just want to get away. And the strange thing about it is when you do want to get away, you're being judged as, what kind of parent are you? What kind of parent or a husband or wife you are? People look down on you, right? It's a very common thing. And I'm like, it's just amazing the stuff that we put on ourselves. It really is. But it's unnecessary. My take on things, see, the thing is, if you get rid of these titles, if you throw the idea of a wife or husband away, your attitude towards each other will be a lot different, okay? Especially if you have kids, okay? Your attitude will be a lot different. The pressure, you got this pressure that you got to be this person, this expectation that you have on yourself, because it's an idea, it's an obligation that you have to do this. The thing is, everybody, you see, love is unconditional. As much as you feel a certain way about somebody, okay, and I'm going to say this, yes, sometimes I have my moments, I feel a certain way about people, I know that, but through and through, I just want to say this for the record in this clip. Love is unconditional. It does not mean obligation. It doesn't mean that you have to perform a duty. It doesn't mean that you have to be a husband, or you have to perform your wifely duties or your husband duties. Okay. I don't want to go too much with the parents because I am thinking about creating a clip on parents, but I will touch a little bit on this about being a parent, just a little bit. You don't have to be the idea of a mother or father. A lot of stress. There's a lot of stress going on in a household. And a lot of you can't, you see, the thing is, if you could just basically put aside some of the stuff and really understand, and it takes a lot of courage to face your own traditions, the stuff that you've been grew up to believe, that it's just part of life. It's just part of being human, to take on these responsibilities. It makes you somebody. So for you to question those things and to think outside of that, it does take courage. I will say that. It does take courage. Love is unconditional. Okay? It doesn't mean that you have to perform these duties that you put on yourself, these vows. Okay? That's why a lot of you, that is why a great number of you are having conflicts at the house. It's not about, you see, it's not about that your husband does some particular thing that gets on your nerve. It's not about that. It's not about that your wife do something particular that it gets on your nerve. It's not really about that. Okay? Why don't you go back how you feel about each other before you got married? Now, it's different. In some cases, different. Okay? The example that I gave earlier about these, about a couple that's been together for 5 years, living under the same roof, and decided to get married, something changed. Yes, that's really weird. Like, the transition of being married should be nice and smooth, right? Shouldn't be any problem because they know each other. They live in this household for 5 years, but yet there's something changed. The idea of marriage tells you in your face, you have to do this. If you don't do these things, you're no good. That's the thing. That's it. You're absolutely no good. That's the judgment that you put on yourself. Some people, before they got married, they never lived with each other. So yeah, it is a transition. It is scary for the first six months to a year when you first got the newlyweds. But a lot of you, let's say a good number of you, are not happy. You know? I wonder to myself, if more people decide not to get married, right? You're dating somebody and you choose that this is gonna be, let's say, your girlfriend, right? This is a person that you want to spend more time with than most other people. And you decided to live with each other. I think the transition would be a lot different and better than the idea of marriage. It doesn't really breathe anything good. It really doesn't. That's why I feel that it's not meant for humans to be married. It's just not. It's just not really, because you see, no matter how many marriage counselors you go to, okay, no matter what it is, what your father, your mother tells you, okay, you're not going to be happy because you're ignoring your feelings. You're ignoring how you feel about yourself. So you want it to still be basically in a dating market. You don't want to be tied down to one person. Okay. And you know what? That is your right to do so. You know, I think, and you know what? I'm going to say this real quick. I'm going to touch on again. What I'm about to say, I want to say this. I see, and my gut feeling by me, I've been observing on humanity about marriage. I see, because of this pattern continues, this issue with the marriage may not all be that, it may not be bad, because I really see that there's another transition going on within humanity. Yeah. I really believe that there's going to be a situation that people, you know, abroad are going to basically abandon the whole idea of marriage altogether. I'm going to get to that in a moment. I want to touch on religion. I was a Christian, okay, and you see, a lot of people, not all, a lot of people, they put themselves captive with these religion beliefs. Because you live with somebody under the same roof and you're not married, legally married now, okay, you're in sin. Yeah, you're in sin. Okay? Now, it depends on your religious belief. So yeah, the whole Bible talks about marriage and everything, about the wife being submissive and the husband being submissive. You know, just the whole thing about the whole marriage on the religion side is so twisted. It really is. You see, when I was in a Christian church, you see, for a moment, I thought the whole thing with the marriage is different than outside the church. It kind of makes you, it had like a false sense of feeling safe. Oh wow, yeah, if I marry a Christian woman, right, I won't ever have to worry about basically divorce. But check this out. I've seen a lot of people in the church got divorced. Oh yeah, they got married in the church. This is not before they joined the church, before they become a full-fledged member. We're talking about they got married in the church. And I've started seeing that. I'm like, wow, I felt like it really wasn't much of a difference than if you're outside the church, the Christianity faith. So yeah, you got that. So, and another thing I learned is that I don't know where in the Bible, I don't care, but this is what I've heard through different sources, okay? If you divorce somebody and you're a Christian, right? You divorce this person, okay? I'm not going to quote scripture. I'm just going to give out points, everybody. It's a sin to marry again. I mean, unless the person passes on, you know, and you're a widow, okay? But let's just say you guys divorce. If you marry another person again, it's like you're committing a sin, a big sin. Forgot the name of the word, whatever. But you're committing a sin. You're not really supposed to. You're breaking the laws of your religion faith. There's a lot of people who ignore that in the church, and they'll marry somebody else. But you're still in sin. So we created religion to tell you, to suggest those things, and a lot of you, not all, a lot of you take on that feeling. You take on that you're doomed. You're screwed. Yeah. A lot of you feeling like you're trapped. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm sorry, God. I married the wrong person. Please forgive me if I marry somebody else. But this is the thing that a lot of you go through. Some religion faith is a little similar. You know? I'm gonna say this, okay? I'm gonna say this. I'm not quite sure about this custom too much, but I'm gonna tell you my feelings about it. Some cultures in the Middle East, you got the women covering themselves, right? They cover their whole face, their everything, right? A good number of them are married. I really see, I'm going to say this. I do envision humanity dropping that whole custom that you got to cover yourself. I do see that happening. I don't see, you see, it's about basically doing something that's good for the soul. So if you're basically doing something to yourself, like covering yourself, and you're going along with this culture, this tradition, for the sake of it, that I have to, okay, it's not going to last very long. A lot of you are going to be offended by it. That's fine. I'm not going to hold back. I don't really agree about this thing about some parts of the Middle East, how they cover themselves. The women cover themselves all for the sake because of the guy. The man is very insecure of himself because he doesn't want anybody to look after or lust after his wife. Okay? So this is the thing that it's another limited belief system within humanity. Okay, but I do see that definitely fading. And those things are just part of the transition. Humanity is in a transition right now. You may not see that, but I do. And that's another thing I'm creating this clip. You see, this ongoing pattern about people divorcing and they're not happy and they're screaming for help and you want that exit, that out. Yeah, you definitely is a transition that humanity is just not going to believe in marriage, period, altogether. Oh yeah, I definitely see that. So you have religion, okay? You have religion would suggest that if you do not marry and if you're living with somebody under the same roof and basically you're in sin, that's it. A lot of people are going to drop your religion. You really are. There's a lot more things in life, especially outside of Earth, but let's just say this. There's a lot of things in life that honestly, everybody, you're going to drop your religion in a snap. I'm pretty confident in that. So anyway, so you got religion. Then we basically got this thing with the government. You got the whole marriage certificate. Why you have to have a marriage certificate in the first place, right? You got two people that supposedly love each other, right? Because that's the whole thing. That's the false sense of the idea of marriage. It's love, but not really. Marriage is just a responsibility. It's like a job. How many of you love your job? Seriously. Like you literally want to make sweet love to your job. Tell me something. How many of you want to make sweet love to your job? I'm saying it like this as it is. Because you brought in this false idea that you're marrying this person because you love this person. And I'm going to tell you this, the blunt truth. It's a job. It's obligation. And you're setting yourself up into a situation that you're basically going to find yourself, I want to get out of here. Now, there's a lot of people that's been married for years. Okay, there's a lot of people that's been married for years, and that's fine. Okay, great. Okay, that's great. Whatever decision that you make, it's your choice now. Because I'm only speaking about the pattern that I'm seeing that it's an ongoing thing. A lot of people that's religion, you're thinking that that's part of the end of times. You're thinking that everybody's lusting and everybody's sleeping around. Oh my gosh. Oh, the world's coming to an end. So a lot of you that's religion, that's going to take on this idea. But, but the thing is that humanity is going through a transition. Yeah. So I want to go back with a certificate. So let's just say you put this idea that you love each other, but then why you have to have a certificate? Why you have to have a law to tell you that to basically, how to put it this way, to validate your love for this person. So you need validation from the government to say that you love this person. Or somebody that's a minister, a licensed minister, to tell you, will you take your husband and wife, blah, 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 the whole speech, okay? Do you need that? Do you need to do that to say that I love this person? Wow, that's amazing. You got to really think about this deep down inside, everybody. Question it. I want you all to question these ideas that you grew up. Question it. You're fearless. Okay, you're fearless. Question those things. Because I've questioned a lot of things within humanity for a very long time. And I'm going to say this. A lot of ideas that we hold up and that we think is quote unquote normal, there's a lot of stuff that's twisted. Oh yeah, I feel like it's an episode of Star Trek. You're visiting this planet. That's just weird. But then that's the beauty part about life. There's things about consciousness itself is twisted. But it's a suggested idea. Everything in life is suggested. Everything within consciousness is all about experience. But yeah, I'm going to call out. A lot of ideas within humanity are twisted. And again, I wanted to inspire everybody to question those very values and these ideas and traditions that you hold up. Question it, seriously. So yeah, I wanted to touch on a little bit about the government and this ridiculous nonsense about the legally married stuff. You see, the whole thing about the idea about the government, that how we all involve the government into our love life, is because it's all about tax purpose. Yeah, it's all about tax purpose. That's all it is. It's about how to figure out how to get more money out of you. Yeah, it is. And not only that, to control you. Why do we create a law that you can't marry more than one person? I mean, in other countries, there's people marrying more than one wives. There's guys marrying more than one wife. It's funny. It's weird in some cultures. You see, you got the guy that able to have more than one wife. But what about the wife have more than one husband? But if the woman does that, she's considered a whore. But if the guy, in some cultures now, you see, it's funny. The guy, it's okay. It's normal. You know, just making a humorous comment here. You know, it's acceptable for the guy to have more than one wife. But it's so weird. How come the wives can't have more than one husband? That's very interesting. But you know what? I really believe there's a little twist with the religion faith. Not Christian, okay? But some of the religion faith from other parts of the culture, and along with other crazy twisted traditions that you created, that say that yes, it's okay for you to have more than one wife, but for your wife to have more than one husband, no, it's forbidden. It's a lot of twisted stuff, man, I tell you. Woo-wee, wow. There's a lot of twisted stuff, man, I tell you. It is. It really is. It really is. But yeah. So we created a law here in the U.S. saying that you can't have more than one wife. Or you can't marry more than one. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or woman now. So yeah, that's the thing. You know, do we have to have the government involved with our love life? No. Do you have to get married? Not really. It's a suggested idea. It is. Are you going to feel like a loser if you're not married? You're not a loser, but if you really believe that you are a loser and you're something that you're being looked down at, that's something that you got to really work with yourself. You know, you got to love yourself. You know what I mean? So it's just that these are the things that we do. You know, we have our own ego basically control us, dictate us of our very lives. Yeah, it's all an ego trip. It really is. So yeah, when you put obligation, I'm going to emphasize this. You're going to chase people away. People are going to automatically flee, and that's not just marriage. It's anything. Any obligation, especially with family, mother or father, it doesn't matter. Anytime you put an obligation in a relationship, you automatically going to strain that relationship. That's it. The thing is that in order to have a very healthy relationship, especially marriage, let's just say two people together, it's about really not about you being married. It's about basically that, yes, I want to do this for her. Yes, I want to do this for him. And it's not because I have to. It's because I want to. It's because I choose to do it. Okay? I choose to do it. And just because if you don't do certain things, see, this is the thing with humanity, gets things twisted with love. Just because if you don't do certain duties, quote unquote, that doesn't mean that you don't love the person. You do love the person unconditionally, let's just say that, all right? Okay? It has nothing to do with obligation. It has nothing to do with basically you're just following your duties. You're not in the daggone military, okay? Give me a break. Wow. So yeah, you love this person. You do. You want to do it because you choose to. And this goes for everybody. This goes for any type of relationship. It does. So yeah, that's the reason. And there's no hard figuring out why marriage fails in the first place. And it keeps on failing. It's not going to get better now. It's because you put obligation in it. A lot of people don't want to commit. Why don't they want to commit? They're conflicted within. They're not being real with yourself. You don't want to commit, you're afraid. You get cold feet when you're married. Because you're not listening to yourself. You got to go with your heart. You see, your religion faith got things backwards, especially Christianity. They're talking about your heart will deceive you. No, it doesn't. You gotta follow what's inside of you. You gotta pay attention how you feel inside. That is the reason why a lot of marriage fail. That's it. It's not anything. You don't need some expert to come in and got its own book and tell you A, B, and C, why your marriage fails, whatever. It's quite simple. It's obligation. But I don't hear a lot of people say that. I don't hear a lot of people address things like that. Because we get obligation and love like all tangled up. You think that being obligated, doing something out of obligation is love. And I'm telling you that is not love. So I really inspire everybody to basically look this in what I'm saying. Okay? Look at, really meditate, take it in what I'm saying. Okay? If you don't believe me at the moment, fine. If you don't believe me ever, fine. But if you see what I'm saying and you say to yourself, okay, yeah, I'm gonna really see this through. Yeah, this does make sense, whatever. Again, I want to say this. It took me a while to really see this, because I realized I used to see a lot of people, a pattern of people feeling frustrated with each other. People walk out. You got the husband walk out on a wife. The husband feel like, I can't take care of my kids, my family, all stressed out. The husband feel like he's a failure because if he's not able to provide for his kids and wife, he's a damn failure. He lost his job, he goes crazy. You got all kinds of stuff. But it's weird. It's funny. See, when that guy, when he's not married, and let's just say, for an example, an example now. You with this woman, right? And you have kids. And let's just say you don't have your job no more. You're trying to figure out what you're gonna do. Your mentality and you're feeling pressure is gonna be, I truly believe is gonna be non-existence. Oh yeah. You won't be feeling like, because you don't got this title under yourself. You're the husband, right? So it comes with things. So if you're the husband, and not only that, you're the father. So you're not able to take care of your family. What does that say about you, right? You see the idea that we created, especially about being a husband. You see what it comes with? It's an obligation. You have an obligation to do this. Because if you don't fulfill these obligations, what does that tell you about you? That suggests that you don't love that person. And that's both, and that is pure BS. You do love your kids and you do love your wife. You just don't know how, you're figuring out how I'm gonna go about it and able to take care of my family. You're doing the very best you could, but the idea of a husband, okay, you're not meeting the expectation of the ideal husband. Because you're not meeting the expectation of the ideal husband, that deems you as a failure. And that's why you put this unnecessary pressure on yourself. That's why you just basically lose your mind. Similar to the mothers or the wives. Very similar. Very, very similar. I've seen cases for a long time. And yeah, I judge people. Mothers walk out on their kids. Shucks, you even got that on TV, on sitcoms. You got some characters, and it kind of attached to real life situations now. Okay, it's really interesting now. But let's just say about the real life situations outside of TV. You got the mothers walk. Why the mother decides to basically walk out on the kids? Is it because she doesn't love the kids? No. No, it's not really that. One of the things I will point out is because of fear. You're afraid. Not only that, you feel like a failure. It's because you're allowing your own ego wrap you up. When I'm talking about the wives and the mothers. That why you suddenly walk out in your family. It's very unheard of. It is unheard of. Because you see the program that you brought in, okay, ladies? You was brought in with the idea that you must take care of your kids until they're old enough. That is your duty as a mother. It's like a natural thing. You got that too on top of that. But if you don't do that, you're a failure. And if you don't perform your wifely duties, what are you? You know, you're this and that. Whatever kind of stuff you're being judged as. So yeah, so that's the reason why there are cases that the women will walk out on their family. Just like the guys. Somehow the guys seem to be a little bit more popular. I used to ask myself, man, why there's so many fathers, let's say, even they got married or they have kids at a younger age, whatever. It doesn't matter if they're in a younger age or old, it doesn't matter. They just walked out. It's fear, okay? The other thing is, you're not paying attention to how you feel. You're not paying attention. So I'm going to tell you this too, on this note. You don't love yourself because you're not paying attention to how you feel. You literally flat out ignore yourself. And that's why you're in a situation, for the guys and women now I'm talking about, that's why you're in a situation that you walk out on your family. Okay, or your husband, your wife. That's why you walk out. So, for the mothers, I'm sorry I'm dancing around here and there. You walk out on your kids, okay? You walked out because you're afraid. You felt like, I don't know how I'm able to take care of my kids. Or nobody taught me to be a mother. So you decided, some, not all, some of you will walk out. You see, it's the obligation thing. You put a lot of pressure on yourself. A lot of people that's listening to this, your ego will probably say, well, so you're gonna mix obligation with love again. See, this is what I bet you that if you listen to my clip, you're gonna get those two mixed up. Because you feel, see, your own ego mind will say that if you don't take care of your kids, if you're not fulfilling some sort of obligation, you don't love your kids. And I'm saying this here, and you can take my words or leave it, you do love your kids. It's just some things that you don't want to do. It's very, very important, everybody, to pay attention how you feel. It doesn't matter if you're a mother, it doesn't matter if you're a father, wife, husband, it doesn't matter who you are. It is very, 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 very important to pay attention to how you feel. It really is. And that's why a lot of people are going through a lot of drama. Is it unnecessary? Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, I know I'm sorry I'm touching about the parents and stuff like that. I'm just doing my best to come up with examples. So yeah, you got those things. Same thing for the husband. He can't take care of his family. So you put a lot of pressure on yourself. my transition to the into humanity, not basically just dropping a whole marriage altogether. Some of the stuff that I'm going to share, you're gonna be shocked. You probably gonna think I'm crazy or whatever. But you know, the thing is, all my clips that I create, you know, I have the courage to record them. I'm telling you how I feel, and everything that I share so far, you can take my words or leave it. Okay. You see, also I want to add, I'm able to see past a lot of these structures that we put together. There's a lot more to life than your traditions that you hold up to and your religion faith that you hold so dear to your life. There's a lot more to life than that, trust me. And that's why, honestly, what I'm about to say, I don't care if I'm looked at as or judged as crazy. Because if you judge me, you're judging yourself. So, anyway, I see, and the same goes for me. If I judge anybody else, I'm judging myself. You know, and it's not anything to be condemned. It's not a condemning thing, whatever. I'm just speaking up the flat out truth because, you see, we're all as one. We're all consciousness. Okay. I just want to say, in the human side of consciousness, there is a transition going on right now as we speak. Right now as I speak, excuse me. So anyway, let me get to it. Humanity is going to get to a point of basically transition out of marriage. Okay, they you know, love is going to be understood at a broad about basically love is unconditional. You're going to basically be there for someone that you love because you choose to. Okay, you choose to. Okay, this is not something that I have to do it. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of let's just put it this way, it's gonna be a large network of people or a relationship of how the relationship looked at differently. Okay, a lot of it, let's just say, for example, okay, there's gonna be a situation I see that that yes, people are gonna have kids. You know, you're gonna have a child, but then at the same time you are basically, and it's gonna basically be natural, not looked at as a judgment, but it's going to be a situation that a great number of you are going to have a large network of relationship with other people that you choose to, whether it could be sexually or whatever. But it is the whole idea of a Brady Bunch family type that's basically going to be shifted out of that, because you see, the thing is that it's going to be like this, and this is going to be hard for your ego now to hear this. You see, because a lot of people are so close together with consciousness, because we're all consciousness now. You see, a lot of people, your kids is going to be looked after by other people as well as you're looking out for your kids. You understand? It's not going to be just a mother and father. It's just that, you see, within humanity, when I mean a large network, it's going to be a family. It's not the kind of family as you think. Nothing to do, there's no obligation. Your kids is going to be looked out by strangers. Oh my gosh, strangers? These people? Who are these people? Yeah, it's going to be that people collectively are going to look out for each other. Yeah. There's not going to be any husband and wives. Okay, if people choose to stay together, just the two of them, it's going to be by choice. If the people decided to add their network of, let's say, sexual partners, it's going to be done so. But it's all going to be by choice. It's not going to be any it's not going to be any judgment. Not only that, humanity is going to be in a transition. And I envision this right now spiritually. You may look at things going on in the physical part and say to yourself, I don't see any of that happening right now, because you're focusing on the physical. See, I'm seeing things spiritually, and that is just as powerful as, actually, that's way more powerful than a physical plane. So this is what I'm seeing spiritually. You see, a lot of people basically is going to basically have a larger network of relationships together. It is. Another thing I almost forgot. Humanity is going to let go. Let's just put it this way. You're going to be able to let go. Meaning, let's just say your partner doesn't want to be with you. I mean, not just you only, but your partner wants to basically have other people. Okay? This is what your partner wants. You can't force your partner. Okay? You're gonna basically be at a position of letting go. So if your partners say, I do love you, and that's the case. It's not the case that I don't love you. I do love you. I want to add more people in my network. And because you understand about life, okay, and life is so much greater, you're going to be able to let go. You're going to say, okay. And you're not about competing against anybody. That's another thing. Humanity has this as an engine of society about competition. So you're not going to be competing. There's a large network of people to be with. But you are going to be you're going to be in a position that you're able to let go. And we see when you let go, see your own ego mind don't understand that, because it will suggest that you're losing something. You're not losing something when you let go. You're gaining. And that's the thing. A lot of people, especially in the Western culture, I see that when you suggest the idea of let go, right? You think it's a sacrifice. There is no sacrifice. You see, everybody, you never lose anything. What I mean let go, you see, when you have attachments, and this is when your ego mind's not going to understand too. You see, when you have attachments, what it does is bringing you an energy that you're not going to like. And I know it's a little tricky. If two people love each other, okay, that's great, wonderful. If the person, your spouse, made a decision to leave, and these things do happen here and there in a physical plan right now, but let's just say on a broad, this is a transition of humanity going through. That's basically in. Excuse me. You basically going to let go. You're not going to have attached and feeling like this. Oh my gosh, my life is over. I don't know what to do with myself. And that's what happens when you're attached. See, when you're attached, it wrecks you. You're wrecking yourself when you're attached. That's what it is. You're thinking that you're losing something. You don't lose anything. You see, your own ego suggests that you are losing things, but you're not losing anything. See, that's the thing. Life is infinite. When you understand, and I see you do understand this, everybody. When you know that life is infinite, you're going to laugh at all the situation that comes at you to suggest for you to feel the opposite, to suggest for you to feel sad and miserable and torn apart. You're going to laugh at all those things. Yeah, that's the truth. So yeah, it's the whole makeup of relationship is different. The whole idea of parents. I'm going to create a clip about parents. I know I'm talking about parents a little bit here and there in this clip, but because the reason why I had to include parents because about the marriage, okay, about you having kids. But yeah, there's going to be people looking after your kids. Now, your ego mind suggesting that I'm crazy. I'm not going to have no stranger to take care of my kids and stuff like that, because you have a lot of fear involved, right? You have all kinds of stuff. A lot of mothers would say, I would not allow another woman to breastfeed my baby, to breastfeed my child. So you have a fear on that, all those things. But see, humanity is in a transition that's all those things, those thoughts and fears and everything, all that, is going to be basically, you know, it's going to be done away with. So yeah, it is. I'm going to say this really, really brief. You see, I do tell everybody that you know, I'm not of a human, okay? I did reincarnated from another humanoid race. I'm going to say this really brief, okay? There's a lot of other humanoid race, okay? Within consciousness, everything is consciousness, everything within. They don't really have this idea of marriage. It's just non-existence. So this is the thing what's very special about humanity. It's nothing to look down on, you know. This is just an idea. It's suggested, you know. So yeah, you see, there's a lot of other humanoid race have this network, the same idea that I'm telling you, that I'm sharing. There's a lot of humanoid race does this, and it's just naturally done. There's no fear involved. There's no ego that's being kind of like out of control. It's just that people, the whole race is looking out for each other. It's there for each other. It's like a unit. They are literally operating on a physical plane. They're operating as a oneness. Now, I want to say this about the relationship network. You may not have multiple networks at the same household, let's just say. It could be in other places, whatever you feel desirable where. But all I'm saying is this. Humanity is in a transition to basically shift out of the whole marriage idea. Because, I mean, let's just face it, everybody. It's not getting better. Because something, you know, consciousness within you is telling you that you know, it's just, you're not meant to be married. It's a choice. You make a choice to be married, okay? Even though it's not meant for humans to be married. And this is why I create this clip, okay? Now, again, I also mention this a lot. Love. Okay, there is, when it comes to obligation, there is no love. There is no love. So you basically brought in the idea from upbringing and from your religion beliefs that yes, I have to do this. You don't have to do anything. I'm gonna say this, everybody. You don't have to do anything, and yet you are still loved. I know it's very hard for your ego mind to hear that. You think, what? Can't believe what I'm hearing. You don't have to do a damn thing and you're still loved. I'm saying these things because I see past through a lot of human traditions. A lot of tradition that we created, everybody. I'm able to see past that. So yeah, a lot of stuff I am saying to you in your own intellect mind, I'm like, you're thinking that I lost my marbles. But you think I care by me sharing this? Not really. I don't. I'm just speaking up. So the fact that I'm speaking up, it does exist. It does exist. I see, I'm consciousness like everybody else. I'm not better than you. I just create this clip just to share, just to inspire everybody and to tell you what I'm envisioning. This is what I envision humanity in this transition. So I thought I think I come up with a lot of great a lot of examples in this clip. Cover a lot of stuff. So I know this is a very very touchy topic. So I just want to say that. I'm sorry. I want to say this. I know I didn't mention about gays and lesbians. Okay, this same goes apply for the gays and lesbians. Okay, doesn't matter what relationship you're in. Two women can like each other, two guys can like each other, doesn't matter. When you have obligation, okay, in a relationship, you do not love the person. So don't give me that, oh, well, how can it be so? I mean, if I don't do that, I don't care. No. You see, you love the person unconditionally, let's just say, okay? You love the person. It's just that you're just not going to do certain things. So yeah, this does require also to put aside your ego. It does. It definitely does. So I'm sorry I didn't touch on about the gays and lesbians a lot. So I don't want you to feel left out. It doesn't matter who you are. You could be a guy that's what you call a she-male. Okay, you got she-males. It doesn't matter who you are. In any relationship, there is no love and obligation. That's it. So I cover a great deal. It's been fun doing this clip. I truly believe the stuff that I shared to you inspires you. Okay, and it's been a pleasure once again to do another clip here. I will be back with another interesting topic. Take care, everybody.